My name is Barry Farlow. I'm a missionary in Brazil, in the southern city of Curitiba, and my wife is Ellen. We have 5 boys. David is the oldest, then Paul, Luke, Mark, and John. We completed our first term of 4 years. So we arrived in October of 2008 and came back of December of last year. Our ministry is twofold. We work in church planting. Usually I'm assistant pastor. And then I also work in teaching in a Bible college, whatever classes they throw at me. As we talk about the mission field in Brazil, though, I want to begin by reminding you that God's vision is not just looking at the country of Brazil. God's vision is worldwide, isn't it? When God thinks about missions, it's the entire world that is His focus. As it says in John chapter 4, "Say ye not, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest." The entire world is God's harvest field. They come from mostly southern Brazil, but then they also come from other regions, and particularly the Amazon. We've been getting a lot of people more recently. Well, about 65% of the population are Roman Catholics, at least nominally speaking. There's a lot of Pentecostal and charismatic groups, which are the bulk of the rest of the evangelical population there. What brings them into our church is really, I think, good solid Bible teaching, draws them in. But it's usually personal contacts with other people in the church. It makes that an initial contact. And then once they come in, they realize there's a clear difference in the solid teaching that they have at our church versus most any other place that they visit. Well, my wife and I both grew up in Brazil, so we're already very familiar with the country. And then through a series of circumstances, God was leading us back there, and so we did a survey trip. And we traveled around to various regions of Brazil, looking where God might be leading us to. And so it was during that survey trip that we settled on the city of Curitiba. It's a city of a little over 3 million people, so a lot of people there. And it's an industrial city, but it's also an agricultural hub. So you have basically anything you can imagine, and people that come from all over the world. A lot of European influence in southern Brazil as well. To a lot of Americans, as they think of Brazil, they think of the Amazon jungle, or they think of maybe Indian tribes. And that's about the extent of what they think about Brazil, other than maybe soccer and Rio and Carnival or something like that. And these are real pictures of Brazil. You can still go places in Brazil and it looks just like this. It's a reality there. But Brazil is much more than that. Well, the last church that we worked at was a church that was running about 50 or 60 people. It's led by an American missionary at this time, and they're trying to get it back up to self-supporting status. When we first returned to the field, our plan is to start out at that same church, but we haven't promised ourselves to any particular church until we get back, and we'll look around and see where they need the most help at that time. Because over the year furlough, a lot of things can change in terms of what churches are needing.